como siempre, esta clase siempre decimos al principio que va a ser español o inglés. Esta va a ser un poco bilingüe. Sin embargo, como siempre, vamos a estar acá en el chat asistiéndolos para lo que necesiten. Y como siempre, vamos a comenzar con una pequeña dinámica, un poco conociendo el journey de Herman. Luego él tiene un video que nos tiene preparado para nosotros. Y bueno, como siempre, el chat está abierto para que ustedes puedan ir colocando sus preguntas y nosotros lo vamos a ir haciendo en función con el orden que vayan colocando.
Ven.
Herman,
cuéntanos,
cuéntanos un poquito de tu journey. ¿Cómo ha sido tu carrera como actor? ¿Cómo llegas hasta hoy a ser acting coach? Cuéntanos un poquito cómo ha sido tu viaje desde el punto de vista artístico y de actuación.
Claro. Ok, so, bien breve. Muchos años atrás, en inglés o en español. Ok, several years ago, empecé estudié en William Esper muchos años atrás. Salí al mundo real, empecé a audicionar, pero no estaba pasando absolutamente nada. No estaba buqueando trabajo. Tuve la suerte que conocí una directora de casting y ella me empezó a dar clases privadas y empezó a explicarme realmente, las cosas realmente, lo que realmente es necesario y con todo respeto a donde yo estaba estudiando, me dijo, mira, olvídate todo eso, simplemente es esto y esto, y entonces eso combinado con, you know what, I'm going to go in English. If anybody, please feel free, because you started in Spanish, so all right. So then I started noticing that when I would go to auditions, I started booking work, but there was still a little issue that I would get nervous and have some anxiety and performance anxiety and things of that nature. So then I when I was younger, I used to box. So then I just made the connection that, as a fighter, when the most important section in the whole process leading up to the fight is when you leave the locker room and you walk into the ring. So that little section right there, that's really the secret, because you could train for 3 months for a fight, but the moment you come out and you see the crowd and the people are screaming and this and that, and you see your opponent, if your mindset is not where it should be, those 3 months of training just went out the window. So I started to realize, like, okay, I could work with my casting director for an hour or 3 days a week or whatever have you. But once the casting director calls my name in the hallway and I'm escorted into the room, if my mindset is not where it's supposed to be, those 3 hours of working with my casting director last week on the sides, they just went out the window. So I started to make that connection and understanding that I came to the conclusion that auditioning is basically 90% mental and 10% technical. That's why, like, for example, Robert Duvall, when he did the movie called The Apostle many years ago, he hired these gypsy singers. They weren't actors, but he wanted to put them in the movie. So originally they were really hesitant to participate because they were like, oh, Mr. Duvall, we're going to mess up your movie. You should get professional actors, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, I'm looking at the rushes and the dailies, and you guys are better than the actors that I hired professionally, because you guys don't have any kind of emotional investment in it. You guys don't care. You guys are just in the moment, having fun, and there's no expectation for it. Whereas the other actors, if I'm in a scene with them, is Robert Duvall, they get nervous or this or that or whatever have you. So I basically made that connection, and then all of a sudden, then I started booking, and then actors that I've been fortunate enough to coach through the years, I've just come to that same conclusion. They have backgrounds either from NYU, Juilliard, Yale, William Esper also. Basically, I mean, I can name pretty much all the schools in New York that at one point or another I've coached and worked with them. And it comes down to those two things: your psychological makeup, or you just don't understand the scene. The rhythm of it might be off. You might be attacking the scene like it's a play, opposed to it might be an episodic, it might be a sitcom, it might be an action movie, it might be an independent film. So that's another thing that a lot of actors struggle. They invest a lot of time, let's say in scene study class. So you have like one particular diet, you're doing scenes from plays, which happened to me years ago. You might be working on Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, Clifford Odets, any of these writers. But then all of a sudden you get an audition for Blue Bloods or Law and Order or something like that, and the rhythm is totally different. you only have 40 minutes to tell the story. The other 20 minutes are to sprinkle the commercials, which is where the real money comes in. So you have to be able to automatically identify what is the rhythm and the pacing of the scene. And the cast director has no time to really explain that to you, or to trust that you're going to be able to do it, you know, once you're on set. So then that has cost people jobs also as well. But basically that's pretty much somewhat of the gist of it, how I came to this conclusion through boxing, that it just like anything else in life, it comes down to your psychological makeup. But I want to jump in, if it's cool with you guys. I want to jump in on this video that my assistant put together, because I feel that images, they speak volume. And then because there is a lot of stuff that I want to share and cover with you guys. So I don't want to take up too much of the time rambling about. I'm sorry?
This is Herman's wife. She's helping her. She's helping him with a system thing, right, Herman?
Yes. Yeah, because I'm really bad with technology.
It's okay.
So
It's okay. We're all family here, so don't worry. Guys, at the same time, I wanted to remind you that Monica sent you guys information very valuable that Herman has. And he wants you guys, we hope that you guys had the chance to go over that, because mostly of the information that we are sharing today comes from that document. And also, we hope that mostly of the questions that you have come from that too. Herman, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, I hope you guys had a chance to read it. It's from a book that I've been putting together, and that's why I call my sharing, I call it the mental game, or the mental game of auditioning. So, you know, I mean, like many actors, I used to spend so many hours at the drama bookshop and pretty much going through so many books and stuff like that. So I pretty much said, okay, you know, let me just break this down and simplify it. And, you know, because I thought that there isn't really a book out there that just in the most pragmatic way just communicates, you know, what the issue is that most actors struggle with, or not just actors, but anybody that's on the performing stage, whether it's a boxer, a dancer, and any of that background. So I hope you guys had a chance to take a look at it, because it is something that I do want to talk a little bit more in depth about throughout our HOLA talk. But if it's cool with you guys, we could jump into the video so we could cover, because there's a lot of stuff that I pulled out here that I want to share with the community.
Do it. Let's watch the video.
Okay, awesome. Muñeca, ¿puedes poner el video? ¿Sí usted está viendo?
No yet. Let me see. For now, guys, we just want to remind you that on Friday, okay, we need to change. Pablo, ¿puedes ponerlo como host para que pueda cambiar el?
Sí, en este momento él podría hacerlo.
No, si quieres, conviértelo en host.
Déjame ver. Pero ¿dónde está? Ahí estás.
Porque creo que si eres host puede compartir el screen.
Okay.
Ahora sí. Listo, Herman.
Okay. So, ¿dónde play?
Guys, solamente queremos recordarle que este día viernes vamos a estar anunciando a los ganadores de los premios HOLA 2019. La ceremonia va a ser bien cortita. El anuncio a las 6 de la tarde. Estamos todavía, pues, ajustando técnicas a través de un live. Y ya la ceremonia va a ser el día 31 de mayo a las 6 u 8, Pablo.
El anuncio va a ser a las 6 de la tarde este viernes, y la ceremonia, el evento de los premios HOLA va a ser el 31 de mayo a las 8 p.m. Es domingo.
A las 8 p.m. Listo.
Compartiendo la información en el chat.
Si pueden, por favor, rieguen la voz, porque es importante que todos estemos ahí en la misma página. Herman, ahí está Herman cuando...
Okay, you want to play right now, brother?
Todavía no vemos la pantalla, Herman. Si puedes.
¿Se ve right now?
¿Le diste share screen?
Yeah.
No, todavía no la vemos.
Creo que tienes que tener la cámara encendida para poder share screen, creo. Abajo el botón verde.
Sí, ya.
Ahí está.
Ahora
There
sí,
it is.
ahora sí, ahora sí.
¿Lo ven?
Sí,
¿Pueden ver video?
sí, no vemos el video todavía. Ahora sí.
The whole idea is we have to recognize that the subconscious mind and the conscious mind do not learn in the same way. And this has been the biggest problem in the entire world because people say, I've become so aware of something, but my life is still the same. Oh, I read the self-help book, but my life is still the same. And the whole idea is this, well, here's the point. The conscious mind is creative mind. The subconscious mind is habitual mind. It has habits in it. Significance is this: when you have habits, you don't want them to change very quickly. A habit is something you learn that you want to, like you learn how to do it. I don't want to have to learn how to do it again. I learned how to walk. I don't want to learn how to walk again. I know how to drive the car. I don't want to have to do that again. Habits are good when they're good habits. But the issue about that is the conscious mind is not a habit mind, it's a creative mind. As a result of being a creative mind, it has this great ability to synthesize and learn very fast. I can read the self-help book. I go, wow, if I give you a test, after you read the book, you say, look, I got 100 on the test. I go, great. Your conscious mind has understood all the data because it read it and it learned it. Now I say, did the subconscious mind learn from that? And the answer is no. For a simple reason, it doesn't learn that way. And therefore, there's a difference. We can educate the conscious mind very quickly and easily through all the efforts of going to programs, reading books, watching videos. You know, you can go, aha, and the conscious mind learns something. Subconscious mind doesn't do it that way. Subconscious mind learns primarily in normal life 2 ways. Number one, first 7 years, hypnosis. So that was bypassing consciousness and then putting data straight into the subconscious mind, okay? Then number 2 was after you're 7, we're not doing hypnosis anymore. Now we're doing habituation, repetition. How did you learn ABCs? Well, you had to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and then you finally got from A to Z. But once you did it, you didn't have to do it again, okay? So the conscious mind can go, aha, learn something, and it has no impact on the subconscious program. And people think, well, I can talk to myself. And I go, that's another problem. Because you are an entity in the conscious mind. That's where your source, your spiritual connection, conscious mind. But I say, well, who's in the subconscious mind? I go, nobody's in the subconscious mind. It's a machine. It just records.
El video se detuvo, Germán.
¿Perdón?
El video se detuvo.
Oh.
Dale simplemente play, el botoncito de play y listo. Pero ahora lo regresaste.
Aware of something, but my life is still the same. Oh, I read the self. I go, great. Your conscious mind has understood all the data because it read it and it learned it. Now I say, did the subconscious mind learn from that? And the answer is no. For a simple reason, it doesn't learn that way. And therefore, there's a difference. We can educate the conscious mind very quickly and easily through all the efforts of going to programs, reading books, watching videos. You know, you can go, aha, and the conscious mind learns something. Subconscious mind doesn't do it that way. Subconscious mind learns primarily in normal life 2 ways. Number one, first 7 years, hypnosis. So that was bypassing consciousness and then putting data straight into the subconscious mind, okay? Then number 2 was after you're 7, we're not doing hypnosis anymore. Now we're doing habituation, repetition. How did you learn ABCs? Well, you had to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and then you finally got from A to Z. But once you did it, you didn't have to do it again, okay? So the conscious mind can go, aha, learn something, and it has no impact on the subconscious program. And people think, well, I can talk to myself. And I go, that's another problem. Because you are an entity in the conscious mind. That's where your source, your spiritual connection, conscious mind. But I say, well, who's in the subconscious mind? I go, nobody's in the subconscious mind. It's a machine. It just records. It's like an old-fashioned tape recorder. You have a tape playing, and you say, I don't like the program. So I say, okay, go talk to the tape player. And you go up and you talk to the tape player. You say, stop playing that. Play something different. You know, I don't like this. Play something different. I say, how much talking to the tape player will it take for the tape player to change? And the answer is, it will never change, because that's not how it learns. So basically, talking to yourself is frustrating, because your conscious mind is the smart, a wise one, because that's the one that learns from everything very quickly just by hearing it. You learned it. The subconscious mind doesn't learn that way. And there's nobody in there. So the frustration comes with the conscious mind saying, okay, subconscious, don't play this behavior anymore. And then the behavior repeats, and then you go, hey, I keep saying don't play this behavior, and it's still playing. And I'm going, because who are you saying it to?
Now, what I want to suggest is that you let this large circle here represent the mind. Let the small circle represent the body. Now, the line going out here will represent our behavior, and of course, our behavior causes our results. Now, we're going to take that large circle and we're going to run a line right across the center of it, and that's going to divide the conscious mind from the subconscious mind. Now, what we want to realize is that the conscious mind is the mind that thinks, it's the mind that gathers information. But I can assure you of one thing, it's not the part of your mind that is controlling your behavior. Your subconscious mind controls your behavior, and it's in your subconscious mind that your old self-image is lodged. And that old self-image is controlling every act you make. It's controlling all of your results. Now, the self-image in your subconscious mind operates almost exactly, if not exactly, as an automatic pilot operates. I want you to imagine that this plane is leaving New York, and it's locked on course. After it leaves the vicinity of New York, the pilot sets the automatic pilot. That plane is locked on course for Hawaii. Should that plane get hit with some unexpected turbulence and maybe get knocked off course, the automatic pilot picks up the deviation from the set goal, which is Hawaii. It feeds it through a coordinating mechanism. The thrust of the engines are altered, the flaps are altered, and that plane is brought right back on course again. It will ultimately get to Hawaii. Now, the self-image in a person's subconscious mind operates exactly the same way. Let's suppose a salesperson's self-image has them locked on for writing $1 million a year in production. That person may have a big week. They get flying off course. They might write $300,000 worth of business in a week. Their self-image will pick up the deviation from the set objective, which is $1 million a year. They're way off course. It feeds that information, the deviation from the set goal, into the coordinating mechanism, which is the person's nervous system. Their behavioral patterns will change until they're back on course. Ultimately, at the end of the year, they've written $1 million, even though they had a week at $300,000 or $400,000. It's the same with a student in school. Let's suppose a student's self-image dictates that they're getting a D average in school. Now, the parents, the teachers may turn the heat up, really pour the coals on, and the child will go in and have a test, and he may come out with a B+ on that test. But that is not consistent with the child's self-image. The self-image picks up the B+, deviation from the set objective. It feeds it into a coordinating mechanism. The child's behavioral patterns will change until they're back on course, and ultimately they're right back to a D average. If they want that child to get a B, if the salesperson wants to increase the business, they're going to have to alter the self-image.
Guys off of just pure brute strength and intimidation. Most guys were just pretty much intimidated. They lost the fight before they even got hit. Most guys. I knew the art of skullduggery. These guys, I knew how to beat these guys psychologically before I even got in the ring with them. As soon as I come into the ring, I'm gloved. No, stop it. That's not true. While I'm in the dressing room, 5 minutes before I come out, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking my gloves down. I'm pushing the lever at the back of my glove. I'm breaking the middle of the glove so my knuckle could pierce through the leather. I feel my knuckle piercing against the tight leather gloves on the Everlast boxing glove. When I come out, I have supreme confidence, but I'm scared to death. I'm totally afraid. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being humiliated. But I'm totally confident that this man might be capable of beating me. I've dreamed of him beating me, but I always stayed afraid of him. But as closer I get to the ring, I'm more confident. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one could beat me. I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him.
Michael, Mike, don't leave Denver now. Come on. Maybe God, you know, gave him such a strong body. He figured, well, I'll give him a strong body, and I'll make him have to become strong the other way on his own. You know what I mean? He's a little weak personality as far as being, he's easily misled. He needs love. He needs a boost. You know, he needs confidence, somebody to be there with him. Look, just relax, Michael, relax, just relax. Just relax. Relax. Yeah, but just relax. Just relax. When we first started. Yeah, well, just relax. Don't get so tense. Relax. All of this is another boxing match. You've done it already 20 times. You've done it in the gym with better fighters than you're ever gonna fight here. I mean, it's always hard, but I mean, you know, you always should have confidence because it always comes out on your side. You're always better than everyone you get in there with, right? So just relax, don't let your imagination get you. Let's go get ready for a fight, come on.
In the film, Bruce chooses to adopt the appearance of a bat because it's a creature that embodies one of his greatest fears.
The symbolism of using the bat is he's conquered those fears. And there's a technique that mental health clinicians use for people who have fears. It's called exposure. And the idea is in a planned and purposeful way, you expose yourself to the things that you're afraid of. The movie portrayed exposure incredibly well. He stays with the fear until he calms down and sees that he's okay. It's just a wonderful example of how people become afraid of things and they can become unafraid of them.
The murder of Thomas and Martha Wayne instilled a sense of purpose in the life of their orphaned son. But as Batman, that life is far from easy.
But in sport, if you don't hit the ball, if you don't take the ball in the center of the bat, all of us notice it.
Yes.
Not just you.
Yes.
Not just the bowler. Every one of us know that you didn't hit it right. So because of that, all this is building up. I was just talking to somebody and they are just then… somebody was telling me, we got to beat Pakistan this time. I said, don't try to beat Pakistan, just hit the ball.
Yes.
If you want to beat Pakistan, they'll wage a war, okay? Yeah. You don't try to beat Pakistan. All you have to do is hit the ball. If you try to beat Pakistan, Pakistan is not in the ball, it'll be somewhere there.
Yes.
In trying to beat that, all that'll happen is you'll go and sit in the pavilion. That's all that'll happen.
Yes.
In human mind, there is perception, there is memory, there is imagination. People are not able to keep these things separate. There is memory of the game, there is imagination of how you will carry the cup, and there is a reality of a ball coming at you. It is only the reality that you can handle. Memory and imagination, you can only fancy with. One is about that which is over, one is about that which is yet to happen. The reality is the ball is coming and you have a bat in your hand, you have to hit it the way the ball deserves it. not the way India deserves it, not the way Pakistan deserves it, not the way somebody else deserves it. You have to hit the ball the way the ball deserves it, the way it's coming. So to keep this clarity of mind, there are methods with which you can hold your mind in such a way that this moment if I sit here, the memory of who I am, my parentage, my upbringing, my growing up, my things or things that I know, if all these things come right now in my mind, I will not perceive what is here. Memory will play.
Yes.
Memory is not a reality.
Yes.
Because it is about something that is over, which does not exist. That which does not exist, if it impedes into that which exists…
And there are so many expectations from people, from family, from friends that every time I walk on the field I have to score runs and they want to see me on the field to score, hundreds. So it's difficult to perform at every time, but the expectation is there when I got out. So my son says, Papa, why are you getting out every time? Why not you scoring 100 every time? So, I can understand he's conscious, he's a child, he doesn't know anything, but still he's expecting from his father that whenever he goes to the field he can score runs, at least 50 or 100. So that expectation is so much…
You have more hundreds than 50s.
Yes.
You're one of the few who has more hundreds than 50s.
Yes. When I got 21 centuries, I got 20 50s and 21 centuries.
Yeah.
And then later on I score more 50s than the hundreds.
See, once you enter the field, once you go there and stand, you should not be anybody's husband, anybody's father, anybody's son, not even an Indian. You must just be a batsman. You got a bat and the ball coming, your business is just to hit the ball as it deserves. If you stand there as an Indian, 1 billion people will stand on your head. It's too much heavy weight to carry.
Yeah.
If you stand there as a father, your children will sit on your shoulders. Very difficult to play the game with 2 children sitting on your shoulders.
Yeah.
You must leave all of them outside. When you go there, you're just a batsman, and that's all your job is.
But the real mojo is to use it to rewire your mindset.
Okay.
And so if you're somebody that suffers from anxiety, first of all, here's what you need to know. It's not a disease. Period. It's not a disease. Having kind of the triggers ahead of time will help you come up with a plan for how you're going to catch yourself when your mind defaults to the automatic ways that it thinks.
You have a voice as an artist. It's just getting your own confidence. And you find it just by doing it. By doing it. And when you're playing that character, that is your character. And your instincts on the character are your instincts on that character. And we're constantly looking at life. What is it? What is it? Where are we? Look how interesting. Look at different cultures, different beliefs. How do they come to that? How do I feel about that? What do I think? It is a daily adventure. You have your voice. It's there. Just do it, do it, do it, do it. Create. Don't let anyone stop you from being creative. You do it. And that confidence will come. That's why I say, people, there's no right way to do it. There's no right way. You do have your voice. It's there. And it's a matter of you just finding that confidence. Yeah, you bet.
Realizing that the mistakes that you've made in the past, where you think you don't deserve anything better, which is what really holds you back. What's going on in your mind are the things that lead you down the path of your purpose.
It's not easy getting a job for a woman your age.
Watch me.
The interesting thing about performance is we perform at our belief level all of the time. We don't necessarily perform at our potential level. We perform at our belief level. So he's working on enhancing his belief, enhancing his self-confidence.
This could be it! That is it!
And the greats, they're just being themselves. He said, I'm just being me. The advantage in performing when you don't feel pressure is that you can perform at your optimum. Because it's as if there's no spotlight on you. It's as if you're performing as if it doesn't matter. You're performing as if you absolutely, completely, and utterly know that you're going to win.
In today's show, I'd like to talk about the #1 saboteur of confidence, and that is having high or strict expectations. Let me take a second and talk a little bit about expectations and my philosophy about expectations. Expectations are not confidence. From my perspective, expectations are more judgments or demands that you place upon your performance that really have nothing to do with the execution of a motor skill. And remember, confidence focuses on execution of a motor skill or your belief in your ability to execute. Expectation is more about results and worrying about the results that you get, such as the score for 18 holes, or getting points for your hockey team, for example, or expectations of trying to be perfect on the ice and not make any mistakes as an ice skater. Those are what I call strict demands or expectations. Well, why are those a problem? Well, #1, when you don't reach your own expectations, if you set unrealistic, almost irrational expectations for your performance, such as, I have to throw a no-hitter today, or I have to be perfect on the golf course, or I can't make any mistakes in my program on the ice. Well, all of those examples of expectations really limit your ability and they limit your confidence. Why? Because they're so demanding, they're so high that it's very, very difficult to reach your own expectations. And then when you don't reach your own expectations, it becomes a problem because you think you're failing. Most of the students that come to work with me have unbelievably high expectations and low confidence. And I call that the recipe for disaster. Well, why is that a recipe for disaster? Because if you have high demands and low confidence, you're not going to be able to perform your absolute best. What we really want is absolutely no expectations. We'll replace the expectations with goals that help you focus on execution, and we want high confidence. This is what I call my #1 formula for success. Perform with no expectations, high confidence, and then set manageable goals for yourself.
Do you ever experience performance anxiety, especially before sports or maybe a music or as well as stage presentations and public speaking? Here's the thing. I relate to this a lot. I used to play soccer a lot when I was young, and I loved practices. Loved them. They were so fun. They were in the evening. It was like after school, and I felt so free. And I still remember the smell of the grass and like the setting sun, and it was so fun. And I was good in practice. And then the games would come, man, and they'd be like on a Saturday in the middle of the day, and it just has different energy feeling in my body. It's like scary, hard, running around and not performing that well, not being good enough, being yelled at by teammates and coaches. It's terrible, right? And I hated it. And I used to feel all this anxiety before the games. And if you relate to that, let's dive into that now. Help you be free of that. So here's the thing. Performance anxiety is approval anxiety. That's an important thing to know. The reason you're scared, you have this anxiety, is because you're worried about the judgment of others. Judgment of your teammates, judgment of your coaches, judgment of the fans, judgment of people watching, judgment of someone. And we don't want to be judged, and so we get anxious. And we got to say, I got to achieve at this level in order to get their approval. Now you might say, wait, Aziz, I'm not anxious about that. I'm anxious about not winning. I'm anxious about not being the best I could be. I'm anxious about not being recruited or getting to the next level. Yes, and my sense is underneath that is still an approval fear. Because if you don't win, what would happen? What would be so bad about that? What are you most afraid would happen after? Well, then I'd feel like a failure. Well, then you're judging yourself. That's just not approval from yourself, right? Or something. Dig into it and see. That's my sense. It says usually that. And that's helpful to know because we want to let go of all of the need for approval from anyone outside of ourselves.
Questions of the university students. Just think, kids, as I'm looking up at them, if you weren't afraid of anything, nothing, getting a bad grade, your parents not liking who you go out with. You want to drop out of school, but you're afraid to because your dad will beat you. Just think if you weren't afraid of anything on the planet, nothing, where would you be? And I ask you the same thing. Steve Jobs was afraid of nothing. Warren Buffett is afraid of nothing. Bill Gates is afraid of nothing. Henry Ford was afraid of nothing. I'm afraid of nothing. And yet those names, and I could name thousands of them like them, continue to succeed, continue to change the world. And the rest of the world, the 99.9% of the world, is afraid to take a...
Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act. And you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. You know, with people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far.
Because the real relationship doesn't depend on words. It depends on the capacity to be with.
And they can sense just that energy from you. I'm just here with you.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
And I welcome your presence.
Right.
And I welcome you to exist in my presence. And I'm overjoyed to have you in my presence.
Right.
That's what the child needs from the parent.
And that's communicated with body language and everything, everything.
And to the energy that you exude.
And they can feel it.
They can absolutely feel it.
Wow.
They can't name it, but they can feel it.
How did I beat you? You're too fast. Do you believe that my being stronger or faster has anything to do with my muscles in this place? You think that's air you're breathing now? Again.
Jesus Christ, he's fast. Take a look at his neurokinetics. They're way above normal.
What are you waiting for? You're faster than this. Don't think you are. Know you are. Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me.
I don't believe it.
I know what you're trying to do. I'm trying to free your mind, Nia. But I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
Please forgive. Too many mind.
Too many mind?
Mind the soul. Mind the people what? Mind the enemy. Too many mind. No mind.
No mind.
It improved. And then people and myself were thinking, I could maybe take this guy, you know? And I had to change my mental approach from, wow, it's Lee Haney's Mr. Olympia, to like, no. Hold on. It's 2 arms, 2 legs, lifts weights. And one thing I can guarantee, he does not train as hard as me. He does not dedicate himself as much as me. How do I know that? Because it's not possible. It's not possible to be training harder or more consistently or more dedicated than me, because I couldn't give a single ounce more to any aspect of this thing that I'm doing. So that makes me feel pretty powerful and pretty confident, because I know other people are slacking sometimes. Or maybe they didn't have a great workout today. It was okay. Mine was great every time, you know, because I put everything into it. You know, nothing else exists almost. Arnold made the point in his movie, you know, if someone stole his car or his house was on fire on the way to the gym, so I just call the insurance company. I'm going to the gym. You know, that's my focus. I will not be distracted by anything.
It's really his mind what makes him so great, because he kind of takes what you give him, you know?
The momentum, the transition from one movement to another, that's the amazing thing about it. And you must allow yourself to go as like an automatic pilot. You don't know exactly where you're going until the movement happens, because you cannot anticipate what's going to happen. You must allow yourself to be in a 0 point, in a neutral point, and be relaxed and connected with the variations. So you pretty much flow with the goal. And this is a point beyond the knowledge. It's years of playing around give you this kind of sensibility.
It's really his mind what makes him so great, because he kind of takes what you give him, you know?
It's like a very interesting feeling when you feel yourself in your time to be capable to expose yourself in a way to fight and compete. That's what means a victory or defeat or anything, but just be able to do it, you know?
Kick me. Kick me. What was that? An exhibition? We need emotional content. Try again. I said emotional content, not anger. Now try again. With me. That's it. How did it feel to you? Let me think. Don't think. Feel.
It's not magic, Tommy. Just getting rid of all that bullshit you have up in your head. It tells you might not be enough. So when you get up there, you make every move about the move. All right? Not about the gold. Not about what your dad thinks about you. Not about anything. But that one moment in time. Where are you, Dad? Here. What time is it? Now. What are you? This moment.
You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
All right, Donnie, get into your stance. Make a small target, turn sideways. Okay. You see this guy here staring back at you? Yeah. That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life. Okay? You throw a jab in the jaw. All right, one to the gut. Now, every time he punches this guy, what's he doing?
Throwing one back at me.
That's right. So either you block it, slip it, or get out of the way. So. I'll leave you two alone for a while.
So, Riley, how was the first day of school?
Fine, I guess.
Did you guys pick up on that?
Sure did.
Something's wrong. Signal the husband.
Uh-oh, she's looking at us. What did she say?
Oh, sorry, sir. No one was listening.
Is it garbage night? We left the toilet seat up. What is it, woman? What?
I'm joy. This is sadness. That's anger.
What?
This is disgust. And that's fear. We're Riley's emotions. These are Riley's memories. They're mostly happy, you'll notice, not to brag.
I wanted to maybe hold one.
What happened? Sadness?
She did something to the memory.
Is everything okay?
I don't know.
Take it back, Joy!
I'm trying.
Joy, no,
Let
wait!
go.
The core memories!
No.
Can I say that curse word?
You can't focus on what's going wrong. There's always a way to turn things around. It's broccoli.
Congratulations, San Francisco! You've ruined pizza! Who's the birthday girl?
All right, we're back.
Okay. Were you guys able to see the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, so let me jump in here. Let me just share with you guys, and then I want to go around and everybody to just share where they find themselves regarding when it's time for them to perform. So my issue with me was my stepfather. You know, the freaking son is annoying the hell out of me. You know, I obviously I've had to do a lot of work through the years, and I've forgiven him. But you know, growing up, what I would constantly hear since I was a kid was, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're not good, you're blah, 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 all this stuff, right? So what happens as you know, and these are all facts, you know. Obviously, as we all know, 90% of what we do is in our subconscious part of our brain, and only 10% is in the front part, which is our conscious part of our brain. So what happens, you know, when I started auditioning, you walk into the room, and the casting director is the authority figure, or the director, the producer. So my subconscious is telling me, oh, this is how we behave in front of the authority figure, which was my stepfather. And how did Herman behave back then? You know, I'd get nervous. I would be scared to voice my opinion because I'm already anticipating that I'm going to be ridiculed and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, working on myself, coming to the conclusion that I had to basically reprogram my subconscious, you know. So what happened was, look, I came to my individual conclusion, which is I'm so excited about hearing everybody's in a few minutes, is I just made the connection from boxing. So I was like, wait a minute, you know, when I was in high school and I enjoyed boxing, I wasn't scared that this guy's trying to take my head off and things of that nature and literally trying to hurt me. You know, why am I scared of somebody, with all due respect, that looks like a freaking librarian, you know? And so I was like, wait, what's going on here? So I was like, oh, when I'm boxing, I feel good. I feel strong. I feel confident. So then what happened was I just changed the wording around because the wording is so important. So now it didn't become, oh, it's another actor or the other character in the scene or the reader at the audition. No, it's my opponent, you know? And then I'm sharing with you guys my process, you know what I mean? And then with the connection that I made was, oh, so the lines, right? The dialogue, it's not lines. In my mind, they're combinations. Just like you have jabs, uppercuts, right hands, hook to the body. So in my mind is, I'm here to fuck you up with these lines because it's something that I specifically want from you right now. So my subconscious was like, oh, this feels normal to us. This feels fun to us. This is when I feel confident, because it didn't make the distinction that, oh, we're not literally boxing anymore, but my subconscious mind thinks that. So I'm just tuned into him or her. You know, nobody exists in the room. You know, like when I had the meeting with J.J. Abrams years ago for Mission Impossible 3, and Tom Cruise is in the room. It's not Tom Cruise. It's who he is to me right now, and I gotta beat that ass. You know what I mean? Or you know, so I was able to luckily make that alignment. Okay, but it's the same essence. It just so happened that the exterior for me was sports and boxing, but as you guys saw in the video, this is the essence of it. It's across the board. Whether you are doing a business presentation for some Fortune 500 company or anything, it's the same essence. So one of the thing that another thing I just want to share with you guys, and then I'm really excited to just hear across the room is, and these are facts, okay? This is not me, these are facts, okay? When we experience what we think is anxiety, okay, the problem with that word is that that word it's like the word auditioning. You know, when I coach my students, I tell them from now on, we don't use the word auditioning ever again, because when your subconscious mind hear that word auditioning, it doesn't empower you. So I tell them you have to find a new word, or I suggest words to them. So for example, they say I have a little get together tomorrow at 4 o'clock, or you know, I got a play date, or this is my fun period. You know, we don't use that word anymore. So the word anxiety, because of control, it has a lot of negative association with it. And the thing is that the reality is that anxiety really doesn't exist, because the sensations that we're feeling right prior to us performing, okay, it's just atoms, okay? It's kind of like being in the gym and you're exercising, and then you're running on a treadmill, and then you start to sweat, right? So when you're running on a treadmill, you don't freak out and you're like, whoa, what's going on? I'm sweating. This is not good. This is not normal. Yada yada yada. No, you accept that it's part of your body's mechanism that goes together with the activity that you're doing. Another example, you know, we're all adults here, so my objective right now is I want to just share with you guys, you know, the information that I've acquired through the years. Another example is if you're intimate with your girlfriend, spouse, whoever it may be, and your body has a physical reaction. If you're a man, you know, you get an erection, for example, okay? You don't stop and it's like, oh my God, what's going on? This is not normal. No, you continue whatever the activity you're doing, and you accept it as part of the norm. You know what I mean? So what's really happening in our bodies is just atoms. Okay. The problem is that since we were kids or through our lives, that word anxiety has been programmed in our belief system that it's a bad thing. Oh my God, you're nervous before your performance. Oh my God, you shouldn't be nervous. You know, you shouldn't have an anxiety before opening night or this or that. You know what I mean? And we link it to something that to a definition that is not accurate, because it going back, it's just like being on a treadmill and you having an issue because all of a sudden you're sweating now. It's like, no, this is part of your it's a norm in your body. So basically what needs to happen is that each person has to take a individual inventory as to what their triggers are, and at the end of the day, what needs to happen is you need to reprogram your subconscious mind for the moment that when you're performing or you're presenting it at the studio, at Warner Brothers, or wherever you might be. Because if not, these are the facts. You could work on the scene all you want, you could hire the best coaches you want, but come that moment, come game time, if your subconscious mind, which obviously it comes from our childhood, you know, parents do the best that they can, but you know, parents, our environment, our family, our neighborhoods, and it gets in the way of you sharing your truth, of you putting out, you know, the truth that you feel within the scene. But I would love to just kind of go around the room, and obviously this is a safe environment. I'm really excited to just hear if people it's cool for them to share, you know, what their experiences are when it's time for them to perform, or what they feel that might be getting in their way, and for me to, as best as I can, to share with you guys, you know, based on my experiences of working on both coasts and, you know, having to have dealt the stuff that I had to go through in my childhood.
So if you guys, guys, if you want to just raise your hand and maybe we can start sharing, either sharing experience or just, you know,
I mean, let's just go around the room. Like, okay, when you guys go to an audition, like, what do you feel? What do you, or what do you think? I don't know. I mean, because it's not a one size fits all. I mean, the essence of it is, but the exterior of it is not. So I don't, you know, I would just like to hear. Obviously, if everybody came here today, you know, obviously there's something about the subject that either intrigued or you guys want to hear. So I would just like to assist you all as best as I can, based on my experience, you know. So I would just love to just hear, if you guys could just jump in and just let me know what do you feel is getting in your way? Why are you guys booking? Let's go around the room. Who wants to go first? You know,
Maritza, ella, she raised her hand first, and then we have Caro, and then César, and then.
Awesome.
Ya, Pablo quiere tomar un segundo. Un momentico.
No, yo quiero también hablar de mi ansiedad,
Okay.
pero cuando me toque mi turno.
Déjame repetir entonces el orden. Primero va Maritza, luego dije Carol, luego dije César, Johari, Pablo,
awesome.
Inma. Venga, primero.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. If I start to write, please continue talking, because I'm treating it just like I work with all my students. Okay. Basically, this is a script analysis. You're my script right now, and I just want to hear, and let's have some fun. Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sweetie. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Herman, so much. Well, what happens to me is that I've been doing this for years. I mean, all my life. And what happens to me is that before I start studying and taking classes, and I take a lot of classes and workshops and this and that and that, the more classes I take, the more fear and anxiety I have. And I want to be that actress when I was like in high school, or I remember the very first audition that I had when I came here to the US in Atlanta, Georgia. I was there being a Hispanic with an accent, and all the other actresses were Americans. And I was there like, okay, and I did my thing and they picked me. And I did that, I remember that I did that without having that much education. I just went there bold, and I want to be that actress again. I mean, the more knowledge I have, the more workshops I do, the more I know about the industry, the worse I get with anxiety. And I want to go back and be, this is holy shit. I want to take that away from me. I want to be bold again. I am bold, but it's like, what's wrong? So it's like, and I do remember one teacher, coach once said, learn everything and then forget it. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to do that, but that's my truth.
Okay, all right. So I know exactly what's going on. Okay, so just like a script. So I'm just going to recap right now everything I wrote down. Okay, so you said, I'm taking a lot of classes, this and that. Then you mentioned about the confusion and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, we just got to take all the air out. Okay, so what is that giving your programming? Okay, your 90%, which is your subconscious, your programming. Okay, so what it's giving you is the struggle. You are incorrectly programmed that if I'm not getting a hernia, if I'm not struggling, if it's not complicated and difficult, then there's something wrong. But that's not your being. Okay, you have human programming, and then you have being. Human programming is, with all the respect, mom, dad, society. Okay, and being is, not to get religious, being is God, highest source, the universe. Agree. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, So what happens is because in your programming is, basically life needs to be difficult. My journey needs to be more difficult than necessary. So it's pulling you more in that direction. But the few times that you are in alignment with your being, when you were bold and you just didn't give a shit and you went in there, you have fun and they picked you, boom, now you're here in your being, right? But the 90% that is programmed that your life needs to be more harder than what it is, it's that muscle is stronger than you being in line with your being. So you're always gonna sooner or later you'll self-sabotage. You'll find a way to go over here. Just like being in a relationship. Oh man, she was so good to me, this and that. I don't know why I keep doing this. I don't know why I keep being an asshole to women, because it's your conditioning. Just like what Bruce Lipton said, that the airplane, it leaves New York, it goes to Hawaii. But the moment it hits turbulence, the turbulence says, whoa, this is not good. This is not the norm. This shouldn't feel easy for us. This should feel more difficult. We need more classes. We need more this. We need more that. It'll find a way to get in alignment in what it thinks is the correct way of your mind, but not in alignment of what your spirit, of what God has given all of us, the talent that He's given all of us. Okay. And that's why you'll see celebrities come from the projects, make money, and then they end up being broke and bankrupt because they didn't work on that part. And that part is telling them, I don't deserve to be here. I got to find a way to fuck it up. I got to find a way to make bad investments. I got to find a way to have people around me that are not going to give me good counsel in investing my money right. Because the subconscious mind is extremely creative. And what it's doing is it thinks that it's helping you. It's trying to find its alignment in what it believes is the right trajectory in your journey. And in this case is, I need to struggle and it has to be more difficult than what it needs to be. You know what I mean? And I need to find people, and I need to find people that are going to keep feeding that. So this teacher's telling me this, and maybe he's confusing me, but fuck it, I'm still going to keep going to the class, and I'll still keep paying them. And then, all right, then I'll jump to this teacher, and okay, it's confusing me, but fuck it, I'll pay him also, and I'll invest 6 months or a year out of my life. But when you take all the air out, just like a script, okay, you got to take all the air out, just like I tell my students. It's not like, oh, Herman, I got 8 pages, I got 4 scenes. No, papi. You take all the air out and you break it down to the nerve, to the G spot, to the nerve, and you take all the air out. All it is that you are unnecessarily suffering, my love, and it's not your fault, and you deserve better. Okay, you have been conditioned wrongfully, and the people that did it, they did the best they could. We're not here to judge. We all make mistakes, but yeah, you're unnecessarily struggling in your journey. And I've been there.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. Yes, what you are saying, Herman, is something like, oh, maybe it's this, but now that you are confirming me, yes, it's that. It is that.
Baby, I used to cry after auditions because I would jump on the train. I remember I went in for Alexa Folger for Oz, one of my first auditions many years ago, and I freaked out because once again my conditioning was my stepfather, and just like you, I made my life because of my conditioning harder than it needed to be. If it wasn't hard, if I didn't have a teacher that was yelling and was abusive and all this shit, then I didn't feel at home, you know.
Right.
And I'm with you, Mama. I'm with you. I used to cry out at auditions. I'm like, what is wrong with me? If this is something that I want to do, why? I until I had to break it down. I had to become my own script analysis and come to the realization that, oh, this is what it is, and get to the point of reprogramming my subconscious.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, my love. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
So we gotta, I want to share this with our community because I know in my heart, man, I've seen it. I'm not going to start name dropping, but I've seen it on both coasts. This is really where the problem is, because let me tell you guys, what we are being asked to do is something that we do naturally from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep.
Yes.
Which is, you talk, I listen, you talk. That's it. So why now? I can understand if we picked a profession like ballet and you're 20 years old or 40 years old and you're being asked to do standing on your toes and whatever. Okay, that's different. Okay, maybe your body, maybe age, maybe the calcium in your bones, you can't do those steps anymore. That's a different medium of artistic expression. But if it's storytelling, if it's acting, if it's storytelling, and you're not working, it's because it's your programming. It's what's called your engrams. Some people call it engrams, your mindset, your programming from the childhood, and it's getting in the way of your spirit, of your being, which is what you've been put here to do, to share your gift, to share your truth. You know, the moment I made that connection, everything else started opening for me. Dude, I'm never in my wildest dreams. I've been so lucky and blessed. I'm in Los Angeles right now. I'm, you know, right now because of what's happening. But, you know, I mean, and all I did was just, I made that adjustment. But I couldn't do this years ago. Like, you know, having all that bullshit in my brain that was getting in the way of me going in there and doing what I had to do. And the stuff that I've been lucky enough to work on the shows and the things that I've been able to do and everything. It's just that you just gotta just be your own script analysis and find somebody that's gonna talk to you from experience, not from theory, not from this, and talk to you very, you know, arroz con papa, very meat and potatoes, very pragmatic. You know, I have a potty mouth, so forgive me, guys. But my thing is, you know, I gotta speak from my heart, you know, and so forgive me if some curse word comes out. But you know, this is about you guys getting it and getting not me getting fancy with $50 words like some bullshit college professor that didn't book anything in his life and is just talking from a fucking book. Okay, but
thank
okay,
you,
my love.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, thank you, Maritza, for sharing your experience.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
Let's go with Caro. What's next?
Ujú. No veo.
Ahora sí.
Herman.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Okay, let me breathe. Okay, I'm gonna try to ask you in English because my English is not like super fluent.
No. See, so stop right there, my love. That's your programming. Why you don't make it more difficult? You do what's comfortable. If you want to talk in Spanish, my love, you make it about you. Make it about your comfort zone, because I need you to get used to that. Because when you walk into an audition room, you got to take control. So that's the same essence. Right now, you got to take control. Okay, it's not about me, my love. It's about what's comfortable for you. So if you want to talk to me in Chinese, whatever. I'm serious, baby. You make it about you.
Okay, I'm gonna try it in English.
Sure.
So I got the diagnosis of PTSD like a few years ago because I went through in an abusive relationship, and since that, it affects me a lot, especially when I'm doing, you know, auditions, because let's say I'm trying to audition for a role that the actress, the character, is beating up, and then it triggers me, you know, the lines of the script in my brain cannot dissociate, like separate the, you know, it's okay. Let's try to put in another words. It's supposed, I mean, I try and I want to believe, no, don't believe in diagnosis, like you say, everything is in your mind. But sometimes I feel unconsciously that I'm like celebrating like the anniversary of what happened to me. So anything smaller, it can triggers me to break down. So as I say, let's say I'm doing this is scene when the actress is getting beaten up, and then when I'm doing the auditions for the casting director, it's great because my emotions, I just bring those painful memories and the emotions go easily. I can, you know, I work with my emotions so I can easily cry or whatever. But at the end, when I finish, I am exhausted mentally because, of course, I'm working with my emotions and with memories that I want to forget. So since I got the diagnosis, for me, it's getting hard because I want to do this, and sometimes I feel it blocks me, you know. And in terms of acting, and also since that I cannot have a relationship, that's another thing because I don't trust anybody. So That's my question. I don't want to believe in that, in the diagnosis. I've read a lot of books. I've been working a lot of inner work, like reading, forgiveness, everything, because sometimes I feel guilty and I don't know even why. Because as you say, we it's not our fault. Sometimes, like you say, shit happens, and God knows, the reason and the purpose. But that's my question. Sometimes it blocks me a lot in terms of auditioning, because I start to feel the anxiety. So I don't know if it's just anxiety or if it is the PTSD and that something triggers me. So that's my question.
Okay. I'm just finishing writing. Okay, so here we go. All right. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing once again. This is very brave of you guys, because I know it's not easy, especially you guys are just meeting me today, and basically it's like opening up your heart, and it's like, here, man, take a look. So thank you all. I love you guys. Thank you all, man. So breaking this whole thing down, okay, all right. For you, it's basically you are not in your work, okay? When you are doing your scene, you are not in your work. So what does that mean? Okay, that means that your subconscious, your programming, you are struggling with obviously there's a guilt there. You're struggling with the fact of you have to get to a point of more self-compassion, of forgiving yourself, because one thing is like you said, yeah, sometimes it's not people's fault, stuff like that. We could articulate something, but if we haven't really believed it here, there's no it's like me saying that's okay, I forgive you, but here I haven't, and I can still have malice towards the person. So we got to work on you practicing embracing more self-compassion, more forgiving of yourself, and most importantly, allowing yourself permission to enjoy, because this is supposed to be fun. What we do at the end of the day is supposed to be fun. So if I'm doing a scene with somebody right now, okay, and I'm experiencing what you shared with me, what it means is I'm not really in my work. I'm not really in the joy of my work. Okay, so obviously there's a sense of deprivation in my programming, of a self-denial, of depriving myself, of not of a lack of self-compassion, of a lack of not permitting myself to enjoy something that apparently I want to do, and I'm not being in the moment and allowing myself permission to enjoy. So in listening to your story, that would be my suggestion to you in the reprogramming of the subconscious part of your mind, which is of allowing yourself, first of all, forgiveness and more self-compassion, okay, that you are enough. Okay, remember guys, acting is what we do, it's not who we are, and we got to separate the two. Okay, but what I wish for you is for you to get to that point where you allow yourself permission to enjoy, because you're not in the work and the enjoyment of it. Whatever character you might be portraying, yes, maybe the scene might require some strong emotions within the storytelling, and you might be connected, you as the artist, with those strong emotions, but there's a part of you in your programming that is now allowing you to fully enjoy. And if you're not, if there's no joy in this, then you need to take a moment and take a pause, because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun. You know what I mean? If not, people have a regular 9-to-5 job and they're not enjoying that. So if this is something you chose to do, my advice to you, it would be that we got to get to the point of more self-compassion and you allowing yourself permission to enjoy your work, to not deprive yourself, because of the experiences that you've had, and what the programming in your paradigm is pulling you to that deprivation of you not enjoying it, and it happens, the same essence happens in relationships. You know, I'm not going to ask you to get in depth with the relationships, but I can understand why this can be an issue with relationships also, because at the end of the day, why you want to be in a relationship because, you know, you want to share your life or in your time with somebody you basically want to enjoy. So it's going to transition to that also. It's going to be difficult to be in a relationship and you're not allowing yourself permission to really enjoy and to deprive yourself of happiness. Are you there?
Yeah. Creo que solamente se mute, pero thank you, Carl, for sharing. Cesar.
Thank you so much. Herman, thank you so much. I was reading the mental game for auditioning. It's really helped me out, and I think it's very interesting.
Awesome, brother.
I'll tell you my story with the audition process. First, when I get the audition, it's like I'm very enthusiastic and very willing to work on it. And then during the process, it starts being like a burden. In the meaning, like in my mind, start like self-sabotaging myself, like trying to be perfect, doing a lot of repetition, trying to find the body. And then I feel like, is it worth it? Because I think at the bottom of myself, I doubt about myself. Like, why am I doing this if I'm not having the American accent, for example? Am I gonna nail that audition? So I think my mind start like sabotaging myself. And by the time, if the time for the audition, I, rather to start like cleaning the house or like doing things like to distract myself to, let it pass. Or if I am on the way to the audition, I still doubting on the software ride, or when I get to the building, like, am I really doing this? Is it really worth it? And I think you really touched that point talking to Carl and answer all what she said before. I believe it's part of like enjoying I'm supposed to enjoy what I'm doing, but like, I think my mind stand in the middle and sabotage and make it a burden where I suffer every time. The same when I get a role, what is the time I enjoy, what is the time I suffer? So it's very deep in me, like I really need to get the truth, or like what's going on, or like be honest to myself and find that
Gotcha, brother.
Be that
Gotcha, brother.
Mike Tyson is that I want to be.
That is good. Yes, my brother. Okay, bro. So thank you, man. Thank you for sharing as well, brother. So here we go. Okay, so your thing is this, brother. For you, it's two things. Okay. Your programming is the success for you is in the struggle. So that's the one thing. Okay. If I'm not struggling, if I'm not struggling, if it's not complicated, if it's not difficult, okay, then it's not the success thing. But the even stronger one for you is you have a fear of success, brother. And I had that problem. You have a fear of success. So if I make it hard, if I start running my lines and I walk around the house and then I work on the character and this and that, but then I feel tired, all this stuff. This is the stuff that I used to do to myself. I'm avoiding. And the reason why is because there's a part of you that has a fear of success. People talk about fear of failure, but you also have, as human beings, we also struggle with the fear of success. So you gotta, for the one of the things that I would suggest for you for the reprogramming is, you have to, you gotta bathe yourself in more celebration. You know what I mean? Like from the most minimal thing to the nth degree things. You being here right now after this HOLA talk tonight. Celebrate yourself. Hey man, at least I plugged in. I'm sure a lot of people knew about this for a reason. Maybe they weren't available, whatever have you. You know what? Like I tell my students, after your meeting, because I don't call them auditions, I say, whatever happens, whatever the casting director decides, I need you to do something nice for yourself. It could be going and getting some ice cream. It could be getting a beer. It could be going to the park. It could be going to Victoria's Secret and buying yourself a nice t-shirt. I don't give a shit what it is, but you have to get into the habit of celebrating yourself. and getting into that, bathing into that feeling that it's okay to be around that aroma of success. Because we tend to think of success is if I'm making millions and millions of dollars, if I have a 5-picture deal, if I have a mansion in Beverly Hills, or things of that nature. And our subconscious mind doesn't know how to differentiate volume of success. But it has the same essence. It's the same, whether it's is me buying my daughter an ice cream because she successfully did her dance recital, or me buying her a BMW. It's the same essence, because the subconscious mind doesn't know the exterior stuff. So let's not get caught up on the exterior stuff. You got to get into the habit of really enjoying success, bro. Of really enjoying success, and knowing that what you want wants you back, bro. What you want wants you back. So there's no reason to avoid it, to run from it, to look for all these unnecessary hernia distractions from it. This is your spirit that's calling you, man. And I had that same problem. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I had that same problem, and it also comes from a sense of you believing that you are worthy, bro. That eres de mérito, that you deserve it. Okay, that you are worthy, and there's no reason for you to avoid it or to run from it, because that shit wants you, bro. As much as you want it, it wants you. So my advice to you, obviously with everybody, these are kind of quick answers. Obviously we don't have time for me to really go in deeper. But my advice to you, my brother, is allow yourself permission to believe that you are worthy, bro. Que tú tienes valor y tú eres igual de mérito as anybody else, and there's no reason for you to run from success, bro. It wants you as much and as badly as you want it, and that you deserve it, brother.
Thank you.
Where are you?
Thank you, Herman. It really means something for me. Appreciate it.
Dude, I love you, brother. All right? Please, okay? And I'm my brain is going down because there's so much stuff I want to share and talk to you guys, and you guys don't have to give me anything. I would love if we can do something to maybe to maybe do this on a weekly, because there's so much stuff, man, that I really would love to share with you guys. I'm going to do my best to kind of cover some things today, but I'm telling you guys, man, I'm not going to start name dropping, but this is across the board. This is what everybody struggles with. But they don't talk about this in scene study class. They don't talk about this in on-camera class. They don't talk about this at your voiceover class. Or at best, your acting teacher might be, don't worry, just say fuck it and just go do it. Okay, just say fuck it and do it. Okay. Oh, dude, I'm still scared. You know what I mean? It's like, and my boxing trainer, Bruce Lee, who next to my mother is my biggest hero, Dennis Santo, who trained with Bruce Lee, they asked him, how was it when you trained with him? When he teach her to fight, he's like, no. He's like, the first few months, and Customato did this with Mike Tyson. The first few months, we would sit down, we go to Chinese restaurant, we would drink tea, and he would talk all about the psychological aspect of fighting. Because he says, he told Dennis Santo, he said, look, there's going to be that moment that you are going to hit. And for 1 millionth of a second, your mind's going to go, holy shit, I hurt. And you're either going to go left, say, I don't want to more, or right, that hurt, but I'm still moving forward. Okay? And that's the thing. Football players, basketball players, they have sports psychologists. All these other have people that help them with their stuff. Actors are the only people that, not to sound biased, but you bare your soul, you go into this cast director's room, you bare your soul, you bare your personal backstory of your life, but nobody's helping you with your mindset. When you're in the hallway, as we all know, they're running behind, you got actors paying, all these things, and nobody's really helping us with how, first of all, what's really going on, what are the remedies to empower myself, and I could go in there and give the best reading that I can give. So this is really where it's at, bro. I'm gonna share something with body right now. Okay, you when I was coming up, and this, I know this happens to actors also. Okay, you think if you ask yourself, you know, what's the number one that determines your success? Now, when I say success, I'm just talking like consistent working actor. I'm not talking, you know, multi-million-dollar stuff. There's some other little ingredients that need to happen for that stuff. I'm just talking like making a living. You're a consistent working actor. Okay. So you might ask yourself, so what is the core ingredient for that success? So you might say, well, you need talent. Okay. We all know there's a lot of working actors out there, with all due respect, that are not very talented. Then you say, well, I need a strong representation. I need a good agent. Okay. I know for a fact actors that have good agents, actors that even I coach that are with Paradigm, are with you know, with good agencies, and sometimes they're on the shelf. Nothing's happening, and they're like, oh my God, I was busting my ass hustling to get a good agent, and now I signed with somebody, and they've sent me out only 4 times this year, or this or that, and I don't really see a difference in me even having an agency. I don't know what's going on. So obviously that's not the main ingredient. Then you have contacts. Oh, I know so-and-so. I know this producer. I'm networking. I got this many likes on my Instagram. I got this stuff on my Facebook. Da, 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 da. I know a lot of people that have a shitload of people following them on Facebook, a shitload of people following them on Instagram, and you go to their IMDb and they ain't got shit on their IMDb. If anything, they might have 1 or 2 shorts, okay? And with all due respect, shorts are just glorified home movies, okay? So it ain't got nothing to do with your contacts and your networking and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Then you got people that say, oh, it's my age. You know, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. I know an actor who literally started acting at 50, okay? You know, because he wanted to raise his family. He knew he always wanted to be an actor, but he wanted to you know, to be responsible with that part of raising his family. And then once his kids were grown, then he said, okay, now I'm gonna pursue acting because it's something I always want to do in my life. And when he was in his early 60s, he was able to get on Broadway and do his thing. And now he's in his 70s and he's been working. I've coached him. He came out on Ray Donovan later last year. You know, on a bunch of stuff. The dude started at 50. So age is not the fucking ingredient either. Okay. So these are things that and more stuff that people get caught up on. So you ask yourself, okay, so what is really the freaking answer? And the answer is your individual core beliefs. Your individual core beliefs, which is your paradigm. Okay. The moment I changed my individual core beliefs from I suck, I'm a loser because my stepfather told me I was never going to do anything in my life, and I changed my core beliefs to no, I am somebody. I can't do this. My casting director believes in me. I'm starting to believe in myself. I'm in alignment. Everything else started to happen. And every human being in whatever field of performance, we as human beings, we don't perform to our potential. We don't. We perform to our belief level. That's why you can have a performer that you look at them, you're like, but that guy's not that good, or that actress not that good, but she has a bigger career than the actresses that the community recognizes as good actresses. What's the difference? Their belief level. Their belief level. Okay, and that comes with reprogramming your paradigm, reprogramming the 90% of your subconscious. That belief level is the one that's gonna say, I'm gonna go get my headshots. That belief level is the one that's gonna say, hey, everybody, calm down, sit down. Let me show you how I'm gonna do the scene. Let me show you how the scene should be done. You going in there, having fun, owning the room. You know, casting directors want to feel that energy. Okay, so it's not about talent. It's not about your potential. No, it's your belief level. Your belief level. Okay, and that's key, my brother. That's key. So it's the same thing with sports. When I used to box, my trainer put that in my mind. When I would see the guy in front of me, when I first started, it was like, whoa, look at him. Look at his muscles. Oh my God, look how big he is. He looks mean. I used to allow myself to get distracted by all the exterior stuff. No, because that's exterior stuff. That has nothing to do with his will, his heart. You know, how is he going to react when I hit that motherfucker? You know, we're going to find out. But like Mike Tyson said, a lot of these guys, they will lose the fight before the fight even started. And the same thing happens in our profession. A lot of actors, they mess up the audition before the audition even starts. Because now I take that same analogy from boxing and I'm going to use it for our field. You're in the hallway and it happens and you see an actress or an actor oh my God, I know her. I know who she is. I've seen her movies. Oh my God, she's reading for this, or you know, she's prettier than me, or that guy's this, or my English is not blah blah blah, and this guy's English. Fuck that noise, man. You stay in your lane and you go in there and you lock in and you speak from your truth. You know what I mean? And you know, because our job is to go in there and to affect that reader emotionally with the lines. That's why in my mind, I'm like, I'm here to fuck you up with these lines. I'm here to connect with that reader and affect them emotionally. If it's a love scene and they're reading the character of my wife, when I leave that room, I want him to question his sexual preference. Okay, that's how much I want to affect him. If it's a scene like when I read for when Mark Sachs has booked me on the shows that he does, when I did Madam Secretary, I was reading for the bad guy of the episode, and I remember the director, once I finished, the director's like, okay, I know you're not a Mexican drug dealer hitman, but you just scared the shit out of me, dude. And that's all we have, you know. It's like, you know what I mean? But it comes down to our belief system, and we have to stop denying ourselves what God has given us, okay? And forgive the people that didn't consciously or subconsciously put this negative shit in our subconscious, and it's getting in our way of our talent, of our gift, of us expressing that and sharing that with the world, you know, and saying, you know what, fuck this, man. The time has come and we deserve it. And no more am I going to deny myself. No more am I going to, you know, self-sabotage myself, you know, especially with what's happening now, man. Dude, I'm like, yo, I'm pumped, bro. It's like, you know, people have died and this, I mean, all these things, man. And I'm like, you know, hey, man, no, we got to go for it, man. It's like, ain't no more time for fear. Ain't no more time for anxiety. It's like, we got to go for what we came here to do, for what God put inside of all of us, man. You know what I mean? There's people that are no longer here, and you know, it would be spitting in their face if we don't go for it. If we have the opportunity to still be here and we don't go for what we feel in our heart, and other individuals don't have the luxury of being here now. You know what I mean? So my thing to you, my brother, is you know, really embrace and enjoy success, man. And the little exercise with that I do with my students is you got to work a little bit on your ego, because you know, it's different for everybody. Some people, they got to bring that ego down, and some people, we got to raise the ego a little bit up. So Mike Tyson was one person that he needed to work a little bit on his ego. That's why he says, when I step in the ring, I'm a god. Nobody can beat me. So I needed to work a little bit on that one, you know, because of my stepfather. So I took the same thing. When I step into that auditioning, in that casting director's room, in my mind, there's no motherfucker in the hallway that could read the scene better than me. There's no guy in the hallway that understands the scene better than me. And there's no guy in the hallway that can make quicker adjustments in the scene than me. If the director, casting director says, okay, do it again. I want you to give me a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. Pop, 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 pop. I know exactly in milliseconds, pop, 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 where to go inside here to make the adjustment. Okay, so there's nobody in the hallway that can make adjustments quicker than me. There's nobody in the hallway that is going to read the scene better than me, and nobody in the hallway that understands the scene better than me. I made that my business. You know what I mean? And that's what I wish for you guys. You understand what I'm saying, my brother?
Awesome. Thank you, Herman.
No
Chicos,
problem,
yo tengo que ir a cumplir cosas personales, pero voy a dejarlo con Pablo, que va a seguir haciendo el leading de la clase hasta el final. Yo creo, por intuición, que esto se puede abrir a una semana más. Yo creo que esto vamos a necesitar quizás hacer una semana más de esto, quizás
If you guys want, I'm here, man. I'm here because there's a lot of stuff, man. This is not something for like an hour or two. This is, yeah. So definitely, brother. I mean, I'm here. Whatever you guys need from me, I'm ready. I want to just share, man. I want to share because I've been lucky for things to happen to me, and you know, I would hope that other actors that, you know, would come back and share with our community. But unfortunately, man, they come through HOLA and things pop for them, and then they leave and they don't come back. You know. So yeah, you know what I mean? People can ask me, what's your process when you get the script? Talk out loud, you know, what goes through your mind? How do you prepare it? Blah blah blah. You know, I mean, I'm willing to be an open book. You know, you know, like, yeah, whatever you guys would need from me, man. Because it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that there's a lot of people, a lot of talented people that we're never gonna see. We're never gonna see their work because unfortunately their mindset got the best of them. You know, their programming, their paradigm, unfortunately got the best of them, and they say, you know what? I don't know, fuck it. I'm gonna go do something else, and we're never gonna see their work. We're never gonna see their work, man.
That's true. That's true. Well, guys, I'm gonna pass the lead to Pablo, and now the next in el siguiente hablar es Johari, okay? See you guys on Friday. Take care. Los dejo en las mejores manos. Herman, abrazote. Nos vemos luego.
Okay, guys, I love you guys. Stay safe. I love you all, man. When I get to New York, we'll have dinner or something, man. Okay, I love you guys, man. All right, have fun. Take care. All right. If anything, take down my number. If you guys have any questions, man.
No, Herman.
What's up?
Si tú te puedes quedar un tiempo más.
Es que la gente cortando. What's up? Say it again.
Aprovecha que quien me estoy yendo soy yo, Germán, pero la mesa está abierta para poder seguir hablando si tú tienes tiempo.
Sure, let's do it, yeah.
Yo soy el que me estoy yendo, pero todo el equipo se está yendo, se queda acá, ¿ok?
Ok.
Estás atrapado.
Pablo queda al mando, Germán.
No te vamos a dejar ir.
No problem. No problem.
Abrazo, chicos, nos vemos el viernes.
Ok, all right, te me cuida, mi hermano, I love you.
Bueno, primero que todo, Herman, gracias por tu gran generosidad. Qué bonito todo lo que estás compartiendo y por eso no te queremos dejar ir. Yo sé que también esto no se suponía que iba a alargarse tanto, así que, ¿qué te parece si hacemos unos... ¡Ay, se fue! No, ahí estás. Si hacemos unos 15 minutos más y nos despedimos para...
Sure.
¿Te parece?
Yeah, definitely, bro.
All right, so Johari had a question, and then I think it was Ursula, or who else was... Imna, and then Ursula.
So I don't know, in 15 minutes, can you hear me, Herman?
Sí, mi hermano.
Okay,
definitely.
Este es Johari, está hablando Johari. I feel like psychotherapy here with you. And I feel, you know, identified with a lot of other peers that have been speaking already and stuff that you have been saying already. My experience, my journey, and auditioning, it's similar, you know. First of all, my background is dance. I came here to dance from Puerto Rico. I dance a lot until I could not dance anymore. And then I become an actor. So I'm grateful that way, in the sense that I knew that I needed to stay in the stage. And that's how I get into acting. I then start, you know, in conservatories here, studying acting. And I've been having a lot of great experiences and opportunities, but it's all, as you were saying, with the rest of my peers or the ones that were before me, I feel I'm in my way. And the same way, you know, my body went through a lot of changes because I have a lot of injuries because of my previous work. Also trying to identify myself. I always thought that I was gonna die a dancer. I am a dancer still, but you know, once you can no longer do what you were doing for so many years, then you start facing like, who am I? What am I? What am I gonna do? Yes, I have a regular job now, but once in a while I get like very nice calls from, you know, agents that wants me to go to auditions for us. You know, let's say Blue Bloods, or and then I get lost. I don't know. I have a training. I've been actively acting in Spanish theater here, and also in some English theater in New York for some time. But then it goes to my mind. I'm too gordo. Estoy muy gordo. No estoy a la altura. I'm not gonna. I don't understand the scene. Look at that guy. He's more handsome for the scene. They have been coming to auditions all the time, and then it's me that they only call me 3 times a year. And also, I feel something that resonates with me when we were seeing the video with Tyson. It's that I know I can be a big giant. I'm a short guy, and yes, I have a lot of fears, rejection. I have a lot of an abusive father, not physically, but you know, alcoholism. And through my dance career, my brother, we are only two. My brother never recognized my, and I'm always feeling like that. It's, you know, that's why when we started talking, I was telling you that it feels like psychotherapy, because for some reason, I think that I'm still that little boy wanting my older brother to recognize how I made a great career in dance in Puerto Rico and here in New York. And he had never recognized that, or, you know, he never went to a show. He never went to a theater when I was dancing. When I was in commercials, he never wanted to see, or he would change the TV so that he could not see me on stage or on the TV. So it's a lot of mess, a lot of stuff that all my peers were saying. And I was like making notes, and also the writing that you sent us. I've been like identifying myself with a lot of stuff that you said, or that you sent us in those papers. And also what you just told Cesar just right now. But that's the reality of my auditioning process. I don't know. That's where I am. That's
okay. Okay. So thank you for sharing, my brother. I love you, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
I know exactly what's going on with you, brother. So here we go. Okay. So, all right. So 3 things right here. Okay. So the first one, when you mentioned training, okay, I'm not going to talk so much about your training because I don't have enough information about your training, meaning I have not seen your work. So I can't say, oh, you need to work more on your for lack of a better word, auditioning muscles, even though I hate that word, so forgive me, guys. You know, we got to work on scenes from Law and Order and Blue Buzz and this and that, Maybe you can do it. Or maybe your muscles might be stronger in theater, because that happens with some of my students. They come from a stronger muscle with theater, but when it comes to them auditioning for film and television, they need to work on that muscle. So I'm not going to comment with the training part, because I have not seen your work. So it would be an injustice for me to say anything. So that one I'm going to put on the shelf. Okay. Now the other 2 is when you mention your brother / your family. Okay. So the appetizer of that is obviously there's a issue with validation with you. Okay. But that's the appetizer. Okay. But the real one, the nerve of this, is what happens, what you experience in your journey as a dancer. You said, I'm a good dancer, I'm an amazing dancer, I've been doing it for so many years, this and that, but now nature takes over. Maybe you can't move the way you did before, maybe this and that, you know what I mean? So what does that really mean? What that means is that subconsciously, your subconscious mind is interpreting, my body is betraying me.
Yes, totally.
When I was younger, I can do this, I can move this, I could because you're an athlete. But now I could do it, but not in the same way that I remember myself doing it. So your subconscious programming, which is linked with the validation part, is saying to yourself, wrongfully saying to yourself, I'm being betrayed by my body. So basically, I'm being betrayed by me. Okay? So now, whatever continues to feed that, just like the airplane, you're going to go in that direction. Okay? So lack of validation is a sense of betrayal also. But it stems from the love and the passion of your first chosen voice, which was dance. You know, you're a storyteller through your body. Okay? And nature, it got to the point that something happened, and now you're interpreting as, my body's betraying me. Okay? So now, it's like I need to find subconsciously, creatively ways for me to put myself in a position where there's a lack of validation, there's a lack of betrayal. if your brother has an issue in the validation, that's the sense of betrayal, because your subconscious is thinking, well, it's my brother, it's my blood, it's my family. Where is the lack of support? Where's the lack of encouragement? That's a sense of betrayal. Betrayal is not just, you know, I take your money, or, you know what I mean? Like, I steal your exam and I take the credit for it. You know, you wrote the book, but now I tell people that I wrote it and I take, you know what I mean? Betrayal is just a title, just like a script. It's just a title, the word. But there's so many different branches that fall under the emotional experience of betrayal. And not unfortunately, but you've experienced with the family, it's a sense of betrayal, because not acknowledging somebody, acknowledging or understanding the difficulty and the commitment and respecting your chosen profession is a sense of betrayal. You know what I mean? So that's really where this is stemming from. So what we need is, we got to work on you to stop feeding, you stop betraying yourself, but it's going to come from you getting to the point of, you have to start to certify yourself. You know what I mean? You need to certify yourself, and you need to, which is what I tell my students, you have to define what success is for you. But that definition needs to be something that is realistically attainable. Most actors, they define success is, I book it. Success is, I'm making money. Success is blah, blah, blah. And that is attainable, but it's tricky, okay? As we all know. So for me, I'm going to share with you, I had a similar issue also when I first started. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to betray myself. And I started to define success. So the first baby step was, success is, I'm going to connect to the reader. I'm not going to avoid. I'm going to really connect with the reader, because I used to avoid them, because I used to feel like they're my stepfather and they're going to say all these nasty things that he used to say to me. So I was like, okay, if I could go to this meeting and I could at least do the scene and not avoid them, that is a first baby step of success. So I was able to do that. Then I start to build on it. Then it's like, okay, now I'm going to connect with them, and I'm going to allow myself to spontaneously be in the scene, not anticipate, not, all the other stuff that was getting in my way. And then I was able to do that. So you have to start defining what success is for you. And that is an individual
journey.
What the doctors give you, like the formula, you know what I mean?
Prescription.
Yeah, prescription. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Okay, because it's just like any other relationship. We can, as human beings, wrongfully judge our neighbor and be like, oh, you're with that dude, or you're with that girl, and look at you, and you guys ain't got this or that or whatever. And they're like, so what? We're happy. Fuck you. Mind your business. They have defined what success is for them in the relationship, or each one has defined what success is that each one coexists within that relationship. And who am I or anybody to say that's not real success, or this or that or whatever? So my advice to you, my brother, is you have to you got to start validating yourself. You got to start to self-certify yourself and define what the attainable success, what success is for you. But it has to be realistic, like the Dr. John Patrick Cohen, when he said, a lot of people, we have exaggerately high expectations and low self-confidence, and that's a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? We got to, so for you, my brother, once again, just to recap, self-certify yourself, work on validating yourself, but above all, you got to define what success is for you. You know what I mean? And yeah, because it can't unfortunately come from the outside. It can't come from the outside. You have to define your success, because right now, if not, you're going to fall back into that betrayed mode that could have been triggered by your dancing experience of your body betraying you through the years, and then that being linked to now you having the same essence, but now it's your family, your brother. It's a sense of betrayal by them not communicating and articulating their love, their appreciation, their respect, their support.
Don't get me wrong, Herman. I'm listening and I'm getting a lot of stuff. I feel a pretty damn successful guy, thank God. I'm coming from a very, middle-class, poor barrio in Puerto Rico. And still I have had, as I was telling you, incredible opportunities in acting and in dance. And I stopped dancing in 2003, so almost 20 years ago. The only thing that I've been doing, there have been movement involved in the pieces that I have done and the stuff that I've done, but because of my background, but it has been pretty much acting. I went to the Esper Studio as well. But also comes to the fact that, I'm always also comparing myself of how I was as a dancer and as an actor. And I'm never, getting there because, again, the body thing. I don't feel like my body's free enough as I was when I was younger.
So stop right there, my brother. Let me help. Okay, good. So what is the need? What is the need to compare? What is it giving you? You know what I mean? And like you just said, about the dancing, you know what I mean? It's a sense of betrayal. We've all done it, like I said, betrayal is just, it's just a word. There's so many different branches from that. You know what I mean? Betrayal is not just, I tell you a secret and now you put it on Facebook and I feel betrayed by your trust. That's just one branch, but yeah, you got to ask yourself, what is it feeding you? What is it feeding you for you to be here in present time in 2020 and look back and be like, okay, what you just said, what is it? What is the programming? What is the craving that your programming wants right now that is causing you to have that thought?
Because
what I mean?
Because I picture that as success, I guess.
Exactly. Right. So now it's a betrayal. Thank you. See, I wanted to give you the opportunity for you to, exactly, my brother. Bravo. Right. So, like my man Sadhguru, he said there's only three things. There's memory, the past, the future, which hasn't happened yet. So like he told the guy, all we have is right now. So he told that guy, so right now in present time, your only job is to hit that ball the way that ball deserves to be hit. So we're either in memory because we feel that maybe we betrayed ourselves. Oh man, in the past I was this, or in the past I did that, or da 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 da. And now, we might have betrayed ourselves. We might have betrayed our dreams. We might have betrayed our ambition. Dude, catch yourself and be like, what is it giving me? What is it wrongfully giving me? And bring that plane back in alignment, that airplane back in alignment with your spirit, with your being, which should be love and self-compassion and living in the present time and being hungry to take any actions in present time towards the manifestation of something for the future. You know what I'm saying, my brother?
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you, my brother. That was sharing, bro. That was deep, bro. I love you, man.
Thank you so much for sharing. Imna, you had a question.
Imma,
yes.
What's up, girl?
Imma, I'm so happy to see you.
How you doing, baby? How you doing? No,
Great. Oh my God.
Bendiga.
Igualmente, I am so happy to see you and so grateful to all of my peers for the deep stuff we are all sharing and, in taking notes because I relate to everybody, in everything.
Okay.
So, and please leave us a way to keep in touch with you because thanks to the pandemic, now we all have a lot of more time and we all need to reprogram, okay?
Definitely.
So let me tell you, okay, so in my situation, right, I love performing. I love auditioning, even if it's just a meeting, right? Now, my programming, so I have a lot of love for that. And whatever anxiety, I make it part of my acting. Like, okay, I get nervous, that's fine. It's part of life, right? Like, I'm nervous now, talking in front of a class. That's part of being human, right? But I think I have a lot of programming. And I'm really realizing that, the way I grew up is, even if nobody opposed my acting career, because I always did it on top of my other million obligations, right? I was a good student. I paid for all my acting. I did all of that, right? I think I have a big programming in you cannot really make a decent living with your acting. You always have to have another job who gives you health insurance or whatever. but I have a big conflict with that, because even in any day job I do, yes, I give my love, because, I love people. So I do my best. I'm happy to serve the community. But when I'm fully me, it's when I'm performing. Like, I don't care if I have 1,000 people or I'm somebody's living room. That's my real call, my real passion. But I don't know why, I think I still get on my own way a lot. And then now that the business has changed a lot with all this technology, right? Maybe I put in my mind, I don't have the exact materials. But many of the jobs I've got, they were never through the materials. They were from people who saw me in other things, or they decide to write something for me. So I'm really also my own worst enemy, giving myself excuses. Yes, I need to have another job. So what, tired of or not, I still need to make happen what I love so much, and I do, but it's, look, what is really in my heart would be, I'm sorry to use this language, but it would be whatever people think or my family thinks, pack everything, pack everybody, and I'm going to do my passion 300%. And if I'm homeless, fine, they'll put me in a shelter, That's what my heart feels, right? But at the same time, I'm conflicted, but it's so hard to survive in this country without, a steady income. Even if we don't make millions, but at least I can pay my rent, right? From the side jobs. So that's where I am and where I've been for a long time. But you see, the job gives me the money of the rent, but it takes away a lot of my energy. It really does, even if I try my best to keep the acting going. But, we're still human. So there is so much you can do in one day, right? When you are doing 10 hours in another job, you are not giving it to your passion. And at the same time, I get angry at the job, so it's like I'm grateful for the job, but I get angry at the job. It's like you are taking away my love, but it's not the job. Maybe it's myself, it's nobody's forcing me really, so. Thank you for listening. I know this is a whole, digression, but I know you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I still feel I need more training like everybody, but the training is easy. The training, I just have to call and book a coaching class with you or with, any good person who can help me like you. So
no problem. No problem. Okay. So, all right. So thank you for sharing, sweetie. It's good to see you. So let's take all the air out. Okay, just like a script. Let's take everything out and let's just get to the nerve. Okay, so I just wrote down 2 things. Okay, so you said your artistic life. Okay, you're blessed that it feeds you. Okay, so we agree on that. Okay,
yeah.
But then you have the other part, which is you say I'm angry at my job. Okay, so right now, okay, the most simplest example I can give you is we're all artists here, so I'm not going to bite my tongue. You have to find a way temporarily. Okay, temporarily. It's like you have a lover and you have your husband.
Yes.
Okay. And don't get caught. Yeah. And one feeds you and you feel alive and you feel charged and you're like,
yes.
The angels are singing, man.
Yes.
And the other one is like, oh shit, okay, here we go. What I'm noticing is, once again, get into the programming, my love, of enjoying this season, because everything comes in seasons. Winter, spring, everything comes in. Even what's going through right now, this is going to pass also. Okay, we're going to look back on this. This is going to pass. Okay, because nothing is permanent in the universe. Okay, so this is just a season you're going through. All right, and you have to find a way for you to just enjoy it and don't fall into the programming of making it harder and defining it as more of a druggery, of more of like of a hernia, of
yes.
Okay, because like you know, like Alan Watts, who's one of my biggest influences. He was a Zen master. He said, you know, you have to, even when we're working and stuff we don't like, we still have to find some kind of a joy in it. So even if you're a bus driver and every day you're doing the same route, you still have to find the joy in something of a joy in it. You know,
yes.
You know,
no,
maybe,
I try, and now I really don't. I really don't. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
and without and you know, and one thing that I would suggest is that when you come up when you're about to get involved in the section of your day when you're going into your job, you know, the survival job, for lack of a better word, you're just like an athlete, como un atleta. Take 5 minutes and just align yourself and program yourself. You know, wherever it is you work. You know what? Whoever I interact with for the next 6 or 8 hours, I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to allow them to pull me out of my alignment, out of my center. You know, whatever it is that you have identified that makes it, that you have identified that makes it difficult for you to navigate through those 6 or 8 hours of your job. You know what I mean? You know, align yourself. Take that moment, just like running a marathon. You're gonna take that moment and be like, I know during these 30 miles, there's gonna be moments when my legs are gonna hurt, where I feel exhausted, where my body's telling me and my mind is telling me to stop, and I still have to keep going. You know what I mean? You know, just to align yourself. You know, you could take like a little card and just write your little bullet points and align yourself. You know what? For these next 6 or 8 hours, you know. So it doesn't pull you out of your center. But the main thing here is that you, at the present moment, you have to find a way, because they're both feeding you at this moment in your life. Like you said, you know, I have to, you know, I got to pay bills or this or that. But then I have my artistic spirit, which is I'm in ecstasy when I'm embarked in that. So you have to just program yourself to find the joy in the moment when you're doing something that the activity that your mind, your in your programming wants to interpret it as, this is annoying or boring or this or that. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what it is right now. It's like I said, it's like having the lover and the husband, and for the time being in this season, you have to find a way to navigate through both. Because if not, what's the other alternative? You know, quitting your job, but then obviously creating the possibility of more financial difficulty for yourself as an artist, or quitting your artistic life, which I would not suggest you do.
No, that will never happen. I will never quit
you know
my
what I mean?
artistic,
Yeah.
ever.
So right. So we have to, you know.
No, and you hit something very important in that, because this is really about programming myself. It's not the job itself, because I work with people and I love the people I give a service to, but it's the energies of, you know, the colleagues, the bosses. So I have to stay in that alignment, no matter what they say, no matter what they tell me. I just stay in my zone. That's it.
Yes. Yeah, because you have all the power, my love. You have all the power, and it happens even in our profession. You know, it happens.
No, and I'm grateful, because that money also gives me the artistic freedom to pay for my own projects. So I'm grateful for, you know, for the opportunity. Definitely. So thank you so much. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. And thank you.
Thank you.
And God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you, sweetie. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bueno, tenemos una última persona, porque si no nos vamos de...
It's all good.
Gracias.
Soy yo, ¿verdad?
Así es.
¿Me escuchas, Herman?
Sí, mi amor. Sí.
Muchas gracias. Mira, a mí mi problema con la ansiedad de las audiciones es que yo desde chiquita estoy acostumbrada a hacer las cosas bien. Siempre fui una niña de 10, siempre. Entonces mi problema son lo que tú decías, las expectativas. Y no tanto, o sea, yo quiero, cuando voy a una audición, quiero hacer el mejor trabajo posible. No es tanto la expectativa de, me voy a ganar el rol, pero necesito hacerlo muy bien. Y generalmente eso es lo que yo siento que hace que las cosas no me salgan como me salen cuando las ensayo, pero no sé cómo reprogramar esas expectativas. No sé cómo, porque hay voces en mi cabeza que me dicen, no, es que tiene que hacerlo bien, esto va a salir bien, esto tiene que ser así, y como que no las puedo callar.
Okay. Okay, so gracias mi amor, thank you for sharing, sweetie. So dame un ejemplo, ¿qué para ti es hacerlo bien? Dame un ejemplo, porque hacerlo bien es un título y a vos te digo, hay muchas ramas y no quiero asumir, entender lo que tú estás comunicando. Quiero que tú, si es posible, dame un ejemplo que para ti es hacer una audición bien. Y dame un ejemplo cuando tú sientes que has hecho eso y tú te sientes reconocida de que lo hiciste bien.
Claro, por ejemplo, para mí hacer una escena bien es hacerla como yo la planeé, con los goles que yo dije, estos son lo que tengo que hacer, con el subtexto, con el análisis que yo hice y el ensayo que yo hice, que me salió muy bien para mí sola, quiero que salga eso. Pero a la hora de estar con personas, me pongo nerviosa y me quedo en la cabeza, bueno, tiene que salir bien, ya te salió solo, pero por alguna razón no me sale cuando están las personas. Y no sé por qué.
Okay. So, cuando has audicionado, ¿te estás refiriendo a televisión y cine o teatro?
De las dos. De las dos. Más televisión y cine, pero de las dos. Me ha pasado.
Okay. Disculpa, nomás que okay. So, so, lo que estoy viendo es lo siguiente. En el campo nuestro, realmente no existe, lo más cercano que existe, hacerlo bien, son dos cosas. Que tú hablaste de tu verdad en la escena, that you spoke from your truth, número uno. Y la otra cosa es, obviamente, lo que el director de casting, estamos hablando de televisión y cine por ahora, right? Lo que el director de casting y el director están buscando, hay tantas cosas que están fuera de nuestro control, obviamente el look influye demasiado en qué personajes tú vas a hacer en televisión y cine. ¿Por qué? Porque la televisión y cine es un medio visual, un medio de storytelling visual, porque está involucrada una cámara, En cambio, el teatro es un medio visual de lenguaje. Por eso yo y Jorge podemos hacer Romeo y Julieta en un closet y todo el mundo está en el pasillo escuchando el lenguaje, porque es un medio de comunicación del lenguaje. Pero no podemos hacer Romeo y Julieta en un closet con una cámara porque ese es un medio visual. Entonces, lo que estoy notando aquí es de que siento que y tendría que ver tu trabajo, y estoy disponible si algo, no me tienes que dar nada, podemos hacer una cena, porque quiero ser lo más justo contigo, pero no he visto tu trabajo, de que si tú realmente estás informada de lo que realmente se involucra en el proceso del director de casting y el productor cuando están haciendo ellos un casting para la televisión y cine. Y ahí no tiene nada que ver con perfección, con hacerlo bien ni nada. A mí, por ejemplo, a mí me ha pasado como 1 o 2 veces en mi vida se me olvidó la línea y aún así lo buqueé. ¿Por qué? Porque pasaron 2 cosas. Por estar comunicando la escena a través de mi verdad, de mi corazón, ellos sintieron la escena y tuve yo el look del personaje. Entonces, para ellos, eso era hacerlo bien, eso era lo que ellos necesitaban. Y en mi mente, I was like, pero dejé caer la línea y se me olvidó esta transición y este beat. They were like, cuando yo estaba en el set, durante el lunch, yo estaba hablando con la directora y ella estábamos hablando sobre mi audición, porque ella me dijo, también pasó con Louis, cuando trabajé con Louis, y ella me dijo, Herman, yo ni siquiera me fijé en nada de eso, entonces nomás quiero comunicarte de que hay una posibilidad de que de pronto no tengas tú una definición de lo que realmente es considerado hacer un buen trabajo, hacerlo bien o la perfección dentro del universo de audicionar para televisión y cine, y no tiene nada que ver que tu subtexto esté ahí, que tus líneas sean memorizadas, que esto, no. El momento que tú entras, en los primeros 30 segundos, tú ya estás 80% o buqueado o no buqueado. Ellos ya están haciendo sus decisiones. Porque en televisión y cine, ellos quieren la persona que es la persona. Ellos no quieren realmente un actor que es un camaleón, un actor que tiene range, un actor que se puede transformar como una Meryl Streep o un Daniel Day-Lewis. No, eso es más para el teatro. En el teatro está más abierto a tu ponerle un lisp, a tu entrar con un cane, a tu realmente crear un personaje. Pero en televisión y cine no. Ellos nomás quieren sentir que that you speak your truth, que tú hablaste tu verdad a través del diálogo y que Dios quiera tú visualmente tengas el look del personaje. ¿Ok? Y esas son eso es estar en el vecindario de hice un buen trabajo. ¿Tú me entiendes lo que te digo? Entonces, como no conozco tu trabajo y no te he visto leer, no quiero ser injusto en mi respuesta, pero si tú me estás compartiendo de que quiero la perfección y quiero hacerlo bien y lo otro, entonces lo que sí me está dejando saber es de que o has estado misinformed, mal informada, o no has estado saturada con bastantes audiciones de televisión y cine, porque eso sí es un fact, que en la televisión y cine es realmente, they want to feel you speaking from your truth, tú estás hablando de tu verdad, y que tu cara, tu look encaje con el personaje. En ese mundo. En el teatro es totalmente diferente. En el teatro sí tienes que probar un poco más tu habilidad, you know? Entonces, quiero compartir eso contigo, de que ahí no hay hacer bien, no hay el otro. Obviamente, claro, tienes que memorizarte tus líneas y entender la escena, el otro, ya. Pero si tú ves across the board, you know, Sofía Vergara es Sofía Vergara, you know, Tom Cruise es Tom Cruise, Donnie Wahlberg en Blue Buzz, puede ver Mark Wahlberg es Mark Wahlberg. Ahí no hay ninguna experimentación, ahí no hay nada, you know, no todo, nomás los puedes contar en dos dedos, que es Daniel Day-Lewis, que es Lincoln, y Bill the Butcher, totalmente diferente. O Meryl Streep en Sophie's Choice y Those Were Prada, totalmente diferente. Pero la mayoría, el 99% del volumen que es producido en Hollywood es, ellos quieren la persona que es la persona. Ellos no quieren actor, ellos no quieren un personaje. Ellos quieren es, you know, como me dijo mi directora de casting, Herman, imagínate los personajes que tú te puedes levantar a las 3 de la mañana y tú los puedes hacer right away. Eso es donde tú vas a hacer tu dinero. Y esos son los que yo he hecho. El detective, el policía, el sicario, ¿Tú me entiendes lo que te digo? Entonces, el punto aquí es eso, mi amor. De que ahí no hay que hacerlo bien, hacer la perfección, no decir lo otro cuando estás atacando el medio de televisión y cine. You know? En el teatro, pues, pues obviamente es otro medio que exige otros músculos, que sí es más abierto a la creatividad. Pero en televisión y cine ellos no están buscando creatividad, ellos están buscando range, ellos no están buscando nada de eso porque hay mucho dinero involucrado y ellos no quieren arriesgar toda esa plata. So they want to play it safe, so they just want the person that is the person, and that's it. Okay? Se me está acabando la batería. Si algo puedo conectarlo, pero si nos desconectamos, I deeply apologize, tengo 4%, pero si algo puedo entrar en mi casa y lo puedo conectar y I'm here for you guys. We could stay all night. I'm down to order pizza. You guys could, and I'll pick up the tab, whatever, man. Pero, dude, I'm pumped,
Ya no sé
man.
cómo te vamos a tener de nuevo, pero te vamos a tener de nuevo. Ya lo vamos a conversar porque verdaderamente qué regalo tan bonito es.
Guys, we haven't even started. I'm telling you, man. Dude, let's take advantage of this time and really individually let's clean up the stuff, because I'm telling you, man, and once you clean up the stuff here and then you combine it with the sides, then we're off to the races, man. Porque eso es lo que yo hago con los estudiantes, empiezo a ayudarlos individualmente a prácticamente reprogramar, así como yo hice conmigo, y después lo que hacemos es cogemos una escena y vamos a trabajar nomás la primera página, como colocar el tren en el rail. Once we get the train on the tracks, then everything starts falling into place. Pero if you're here and it's like, then we're screwed. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Whatever you guys need, man. I've been lucky and blessed for things to happen for me, man. So I just want to share, man, and whatever, man. We'll get it done.
Herman, ¿cómo te contactamos? Tus redes sociales.
Mira, pues me pueden hacer email, pero a mí realmente, a mí me gusta conexión humana. So llámenme. Get my number, 917-374. I don't believe in this email stuff. Oh yeah, email me. Nah, man. When you want to connect to people, you connect to people. So just call me. 917-374-4529. I mean, you guys can email me, of course. You're more than welcome. You know, I'll give you my email also. I have a muñeca. ¿Cuál es el email? Con son varios. At Gmail, right? My email, the game of auditioning at gmail.com. So once again, the game of auditioning at gmail.com. But I prefer calling, man. Dude, I need to feel that human contact. Even this, man, I can't wait to get to New York, man, and just feel people in front of me, man. I need that connection, but it's all good. We got Zoom. We'll make it happen. It's all right. You know, but yeah, just, you know, you feel free to call me. And we could talk more in depth, you know, and whatever, man, you know. Yeah, man, like I said, I just been very lucky. I've been blessed and lucky. I had this cast director come into my life and she showed me, man, she explained things to me. And I've been lucky to have, sports psychologists, people that I've met, in my sports background, and I made that connection. People, actors in the community that have been supportive of me, and the pieces just started coming together, you know. So I just want to, you know, obviously it's not a one size fits all, but I want to share with you guys what has worked for me. I know at least 75% of it is universal. The other 25% obviously will come from my own individual life story, but at least 75% of it is universal, and you guys take it and make it your own, you know. But like I said, man, it comes down to our belief. We don't perform to our potential. We don't perform to our talent. We perform to our belief level.
Gracias, Herman. Gracias. Y bueno, gracias a todos. Que todos pasen una feliz noche. Nuestro próximo talk es este viernes a las 7 de la noche. Y bueno, los esperamos allí. Sigan corriendo la voz acerca de HOLA. Apóyennos como ustedes puedan. Instagram, Facebook y todo lo que sea. Y gracias, Herman, por todo.